Hey everyone, so this video today is about why I love the Sony FE24-105 f4 GOSS. This is probably one of the best lenses I've ever used on any camera I've used. I'm gonna dive into 5 reasons why, if you're shooting video, if you're shooting run and gun content, this is the lens to get if you're filming with a Sony camera. Let's talk about the 5 reasons why I love this lens. First off, versatility. This lens is great because it gives you that ability from 24 to 105. It really stretches you out and it can get you to a, close up, medium shot, wide shot, which is the ability of just one lens. Obviously, if you're shooting with a prime lens or something that's, a single range, then it's gonna be a little sharper than if you have zoom lenses. For if you're shooting on the go and you're shooting something quick and you want something that you can get done in a couple hours, zoom lenses are the way to go. And if you're getting a zoom lens, this 24 to 105 will do everything that you need and more. Also, for me personally, if you've seen my content or my sketches, you'll know that I really like to zoom in and I like to push in. And I think that stems from me being a huge fan of like Christopher Guest movies or watching The Office in college or Parks and Rec in college, addicted to those shows and wanting to try to recreate them. So when I started having the ability to shoot my own content and shoot my own sketches, I really wanted to create that feel. So I do a quick push in, I do zoom ins, I do crash zooms. You'll really get an idea that that's kind of like my style sometimes when I do comedy sketches especially. Also, I think that style really lends itself well to heavily dialogue scripts because if you're kind of keeping it loose and you're kind of playing with the zoom, it adds movement to the scene where there's just, heavy dialogue. So if you've seen a lot of Michael's sketches, pretty much all dialogue with not much movement, but the movement comes from the lens and the camera, which I think actually adds to the effect and adds to the intensity of the sketch. If I didn't have that zoom capability or if I had to use a prime lens, I would physically have to move my body back and forth. That's why this lens, it gives you that focal range, it gives you that length, it gives you that distance, it gives you that capability to move quickly on the go. That's some of the main things for versatility of this lens. And the second thing that's so great about this lens is autofocus. Honestly, this lens is amazing with autofocus. I've never really had an issue with it. As you can see on the side of it, there's a little toggle switch for autofocus on and off. I use manual focus if it's a scene that it's set and I really know what the range is gonna be, but I like the ability to move within the scene so quickly, and I film a lot of run and gun. So I actually use the autofocus quite often, and honestly, it's great. I've never really had an issue with it. I mean, there's occasions where the room isn't well lit or the lighting is really funky outside or it's inconsistent, then I may have an issue, but then I'll switch over to manual focus. And most important, this is a Sony native lens, so if you're shooting with a Sony camera, there's really no issue with that. I have a few Sigma lenses, and Sigma doesn't always work that great natively with the Sony camera. Not that it doesn't work well, it's just that the autofocus is a little funky and it kind of takes almost like an extra second to kind of lock onto a focus. While with this one, I want to say from research I've done, it's less than a second or a split second, like a quarter of a second. But I mean, again, it's so quick that you won't really even notice it. So the autofocus on this lens is really good. And number 3, image stabilization. There's a little switch right here to turn it on and off. Honestly, I keep it on generally 90% of the time because I do so much handheld movement. The camera already is gonna move a little bit, and it's, the shakiness I kind of am okay with and I actually like sometimes, but that allows me to keep it, subdued a little bit. If I turned it off, sure, it would be even more shaky, and sometimes I even want that. So when I'm shooting video, I almost always keep that on, but that's really up to you when you're filming. You can kind of test it out and see what's better if it's on or off for like what you need when you film. Number 4, the weight and size of this lens. This lens is 1.46 pounds, so it's a little lighter than some other lenses, some of the lenses in this range. There's a Sony G Master 24 to 70, which I think is 1.9 or almost 2 pounds. So that, adding with the camera, it definitely adds a whole other ½ pound. I know what you're thinking, ½ pound ain't a lot. I could gain a ½ pound in a day with eating like a double cheeseburger. Honestly, when you're holding the camera all day and you're doing handheld stuff like I usually do, it really adds up. And honestly, it's kind of a small lens for the focal length that it allows you to have. This is a lens that is nice and compact and can really just you can just throw it in your backpack or bag if you're ready to go, and it fits well on the camera inside of your camera bag. So yeah, the size and weight of this lens is top notch in my opinion. And when it comes to my opinion, you can listen to it or not. I don't know. It's up to you. And number 5, the focus and zoom rings. The smoothness of these rings are fantastic. Especially on the focus. Whenever I decide to go to a manual focus, it really is nice and easy to kind of find the spot that you want to get to. The zoom ring can get a little tight from 70 to 105, which kind of can affect when I try to do those really aggressive zoom ins or those crash zooms. It kind of holds me up a little bit because it kind of slows it down. You know, once I rehearse it a couple times and once I go through the scene a couple times, you kind of know the pressure you can give it, so you're able to really kind of crank it. So I really haven't had that much of an issue with that. But yeah, the zoom ring and the focus ring, very smooth, very easy to use. And the last bit, this is like a little bonus tip I'm giving y'all. The lens runs about $1,200, right? But you can really get this lens probably on like used aftermarket sellers for about $850 to $900, which is a great deal considering you're getting kind of a lens that's comparable to a G Master, maybe right under some of the G Masters. For spending just substantially less money, you can get a really great lens. It really has some great attributes to it. Smooth rings, a lot of different settings, a lot of capabilities that I would really encourage you to look into if you are getting a Sony camera and you want a very strong, versatile lens. It even has an adjustable button on the side right here. I've set that for, you know, autofocus lock. I've set that for my recording. You really use that button for anything you want in the menu settings of your camera. So if you're looking for a good Sony video lens that's gonna give you the versatility, you want quality, you want sharpness, you want quick autofocus, this is the lens to get. I got this as my first lens with my Sony A7 III back in early 2019, and I've pretty much used it for almost every project I've shot. I do have two Sigma lenses. I have Sigma Prime 50 and I have a Sigma Prime 24. I only use those for specific shots or if I'm doing some photography, hobby stuff. I generally use this one primarily for all the sketches and videos I shoot. I highly encourage you to look into this lens. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something about the Sony FE24-105 f4 lens. Don't get scared away because the aperture is f.4. Guarantee you, if you got this lens, you'd be very happy with it. But if you have any questions about this lens or you're looking into it, definitely let me know. I'll help you out. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you on the next one, baby.